There is a handsome bad boy in the company that my friend works at. Everyone knows he is a player, but the ladies want to be played by him. They don't mind. He has been with every single lady in the office, except one that he has been with so many times, she doesn't even know what to do with herself anymore. It feels as if she has been jazzed. He looks innocent and is very good at his job. Because of these, the ignorant new female recruits like to ask him for help and end up receiving more than what they requested. But they all tend to like it. This confuses my friend. Recently, a new boss was posted to the office. She looked tough and dressed like someone from the north. My friend later found out that she was posted from the northern area to join her husband in the south. She was newly married. The day she resumed, everyone welcomed her warmly with smiles except Mr. Player, who just behaved indifferent about the entire thing. My friend did his best to impress his new boss and get close to her, but it didn't work. She chose the most handsome man in the office to be her personal assistant. In fact, she split her office in two, got him a new desk, chair and new work tools, and instructed him to move into the new space she created for him. My friend was almost in tears. Why does this bad boy always cover his glory? They would hear the new boss laughing unprofessionally inside the office during work hours. Whenever she comes out, she would be smiling, happy about whatever is going on in her office. She orders nice meals for two from the best eateries at lunchtime every day, except when she is fasting. On some special days, she even cooks and brings to him, telling him to enjoy himself. The player is now so fresh and more responsible. He does not sleep with the other office girls as often as he used to. He has upped his game. His boss is young, beautiful, intelligent, and rich. In addition, he has been helping her husband perform his core functions as often as she likes. My friend had been feeling frustrated. He has been complaining to me that it doesn't pay to be a good man. The useless ladies in the office are not even interested in him, and all his relationships never go beyond the first week of talking stage. The last time he came to see me, he was almost shedding tears. I told him to man up and focus on himself, that the right person will come along. One Friday after work, everyone had closed and gone home except the boss and her PA. They left the office together on her car and drove straight to her house. Her husband had traveled for work and she had sorted the gate man with gifts and lies, so they were good to go. The weekend was set and Mr. Player was going to do what he knew how to do best on his boss's matrimonial bed. The next Monday, everyone was at the office waiting for the boss to arrive and lead the weekly meeting. Time was far spent and she hadn't turned up. My friend called her numbers. They were switched off. Well, who was best to reach her if not the bad boy? But he wasn't at work too. They all tried reaching him, and his lines were not reachable as well. While they were trying to figure out what next to do, my friend looked down the window and saw a few police officers talking to the gate man. Their van was parked just beside the road. The next thing, an army van drove and parked outside their gate, and some army officers got down, approaching the gate man. My friend looked up and did the sign of the cross. He came to work, not to fall into problems. He began to compose a text to send to me. "Brother, please pray for me. It seems something serious is about to go down in this office." I looked at the message and nodded my head. He was right. Something was already going down, and he was going to find out soon. Friday night was lit at his boss's house. Bad boy spread his hands on the sofa, enjoying the cool music and sipping champagne. He licked his lips and hoped that things would get even better than how they were going. One idiot will be working, spending on a woman. Another man will be reaping the fruit of his labor, smashing his fine wife without mercy. I can never be the idiot, he thought to himself. His boss walked over, dressed in a white lingerie, smiling beautifully at him with a glass of champagne in her hand. She sat on his left thigh and gave him a kiss. He looked at her and returned it. After a few minutes of passionate lip-lick, she placed her hand on his chest and withdrew. "Food will soon be ready," she said. With that, she walked to the kitchen, deliberately swinging her behind to the rhythm of her steps. Bad boy watched and breathed deeply. It was going to be a memorable night. Food was delicious. They began with catfish pepper soup. After that, He was served a mala with ... Bad boy did not know the name of the soup, but with the combination of assorted meat and chilled fruit juice to wash it down, it felt like he was in heaven. He blew her a kiss. She blushed and smiled as she continued to eat her fried rice. It was her husband's favorite meal that she prepared for her special guest. The last time her husband asked her to prepare it, she complained that she was too stressed out from work. That was even on a Saturday. But here she was preparing the same meal on a Friday night, just after returning from work. She laughed to herself, but hubby does not treat me like this bad boy does now. She tried to justify herself. This escapade started from the dining until they reached the bedroom. Bad boy was beginning to get aggressive while his boss was encouraging him to go harder. That was how the tournament went into full swing. The player could not even understand where his energy was coming from. He was getting more vicious with each stroke, and he felt as though something was trying to take over him. He grabbed his boss by her neck and began to go in ways that he had never gone before. His boss was at it until she got exhausted, but it seemed Bad Boy was just getting started. He pulled her back while she was trying to escape, held her neck down and continued mercilessly. Her legs began to shake. She held onto his hand, gripping her neck, and tried to pull it away, but Bad Boy was more determined to finish what he had started. She began to cough. Bad Boy let her neck go free and held her by the waist. She was struggling to get away, but he didn't let her. She tried to say something, but she could not. He continued to go harder as she stretched her left hand away from the bed as if trying to reach for something. She passed out. Bad Boy felt a strange fulfillment. He had something massive to brag about for life. His boss passed out while was at it. You would believe him. But she would respect him like never before. He kept going until he noticed the body was cold and lifeless. Fear gripped him as his erection immediately disappeared. He lost his balance and fell to the floor. Was this real or was he being pranked? He went close to her to feel her pulse. Nothing. Then he administered CPR. Nothing still. What sort of problem was this? He was just beginning to enjoy life. Nothing. Not even the death of someone would change things for him. He quickly put on his clothes and disappeared from the house. Meanwhile, my friend and other workers in his office were being drilled by army officers regarding their relationship with their boss, and most especially the kind of relationship Bad Boy had with her. After a few hours of inquiry, my friend was taken by the military officers to their base. He was scared for his life. His prayer was that they should not implicate him in the matter. He was innocent. He was led into a room where he saw a man sitting on a chair. His hands were tied behind the chair and there was blood on the ground. "Do you know this man?" they asked my friend. He walked around to see his face. He could not believe what his eyes saw. The face was battered, swollen, and bloody. He wanted to throw up because of how irritating the sight was. The man didn't look familiar to him, so they showed him a photo. His mouth fell open as he looked from the picture to the man tied to the chair. It was Bad Boy. He was unrecognizable. It turned out his boss was married to a top army personnel. He knew that his wife was having an affair all along and planned his journey that weekend. He did not travel. He was around all along, watching the episodes from the various cameras he had planted in the house. He knew his wife would likely give her lover from the sex enhancer he normally used, so he switched it with something much more intoxicating. His wife had an asthmatic attack during the violent intimacy but could not get her inhaler, so she passed out. She was admitted to a hospital, recovering from a coma. Her husband had plans for her and her lover. This was just the beginning. My friend was taken out of the room and had not walked far when he had the screams of a man in pain. His heart began to beat fast. Bad Boy was being tortured. That was almost a decade ago. My friend is now married to the love of his life. Funk loves him as if he is the only man in the world. She is from the Caribbean. They have 3 children together, till date. My friend has not heard anything about Bad Boy since the last time he saw him beaten and battered, but I know where he is and what has become of his boss's wife. Her husband, the army general, just got off the phone with me. He would be going on an international assignment in a few days. Somehow, our paths crossed. Follow us and hit the notification button for more interesting stories.